This is the home page of our corporate planning dashboard. Here we have multiple sections. We have an overview section, strategic planning section in the middle, and operational planning section in the right. If we click on the overview page, we can review the overall details of our company. We have multiple KPIs over here like attritions per year, highest to attritions, salary increment plan, and if we click on the next page, we can also see our P&L statement and as well as the balance sheet and much more. Once that's done, we can plan our capitals by going through the CAPEX. Under CAPEX, there are two sections, one for planning the assets and another for CAPEX planning. First, let's see assets. Under asset management, we can either view our assets, create our assets, or edit our existing assets. First, let's see our existing asset over here. These are current assets. We can see our assets and preview our assets and also the description of our assets. And we also have a provision to create our very own assets. So we can provide the description to our assets like we want laptops for a company and that comes under a certain asset class. That's then we have to provide our asset lifetime. Let's assume a lifetime of 27 months, and once that's done, we can create our assets. The assets will successfully get created. Once that's done, we can either edit, delete, or assets. After doing so, we have an option to assign an asset price. For instance, we have created an asset for laptops. That will cost somewhere around 50,000. Then press enter. The value gets entered into the table. Once that's done, we can close this and publish our data. So that's the changes made and now it's public. Once our assets are planned, we can move into CAPEX planning. It will come under IT. So we can decide how many laptops needed for each month. So we can provide a number over here for the month of January as 5 and next month as 2. Once that's done, we can submit our value. After that's done, we can assign the GL and transfer the depreciations. On clicking this button, it will calculate the depreciation cost for our product. Based on the lifetime of a product, the depreciation cost of the product will be calculated and displayed in other pages as well. Once that's done, our CAPEX region is over. Next comes OPEX. In OPEX, we can do OPEX planning. These are the recurring expenses that occurred each month. That is electricity, office rent, supplies, advertising, etc. These are all recurring costs. In most cases, they won't change. But in case any value needs to be updated or we are planning to upgrade a particular provision, so we can choose any particular month for the month of September. If we want to upgrade the internet cost from 12,000 to 13,000, then press enter and we can then transfer the changes into other pages as well. And once that's done, we can move on to value driver tree. A value driver tree is a place where we can make high level changes. Any changes that you make here will affect other consecutive nodes, which in turn affects the overall net profit of a company. For instance, we are planning to recruit 60 employees for this year. We can either increase or decrease it. On doing so, it will affect other nodes in this region. Increase employees in turn affects salary expenses, and which again in turn affects total operating expenses and so on. So at the end, we can see our results, which is for high level planning. And operational planning is a place where we can make detailed planning. We have the option of planning both the headcount and salary. In headcount planning dashboard, we can do the detailed level planning on whether to recruit or to fire for any given period of time. For instance, consider for the role of sales and support, we want to recruit 7 employees from the month of October. So we can copy the previous year's actuals for current year's plan. And after doing that, we can recruit 7 employees for the month of October. Currently, the hiring plan for October is 0, and on giving the value 7, it gets updated over here. We can decide whether to either publish or revert over change. If we choose publish this data, will then get displayed over other pages. So once the headcount planning is over, we can then move on to the salary plan. Just like what we did in headcount planning, we are going to do for salary planning as well. We can copy the previous year's actual into current year's plan. And we have to choose the department for which we are planning to increment. Let's consider we want to increase the salary for administrative support. So we can choose plan increment and decide how much we want to increase from which month. So let's say we want to increase the salary and we are allocating 5% for this, 500 medical allowance and 200 for transport allowance, and we want this to get updated from the month of August. So as soon as we hit OK, the value will get reflected over there. So we can decide whether we want to publish or revert this change. If you hit publish, that change will then get captured and we can process increments so that it will affect other KPIs and other consecutive months as well. Now the other values are also getting affected. Since the changes are affected from the month of August, September, November and December will get impact. Now we can transfer these details to finance. So once that's done, our new plan will get captured. This is corporate planning dashboard. Thank you.